Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there and our little geekdom, and welcome to another Our Little Geekdom.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row. I actually got it right. Yes, this is episode number 32. Yes, number 32 of Our Little Geekdom. It is a special episode. It's someone that we've been waiting to actually have on, but she hasn't had the time to. Welcome to LittleTwaddler.
Hi. Woo. Tiny chants in the background. I'm so excited for these sound effects.
Yeah, no, that's all I can do. Although I can make machine gun sounds, but I mean, every boy can do them. He's a little boy, so
I can't.
Little boy. It's not hard.
I can't make machine gun noises.
It's not hard. Just...
It was my best attempt.
It's apparently true that most girls.
Failure.
I've seen it on. I think it was on a TikTok video at some point.
Yes.
Girls can't go. Or.
I can.
There you go.
I can kind of every now and then. I can't do it as well as Kez can. It's a failure. I'm just gonna have to accept.
I used to play with machine gun. Well, not.
She was a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I used to play with little army men and stuff, so I had to learn how to make the sound.
Me too. My sister made me play Pearl Harbor with her. And
then you should
I
know
just
how
still
to
can't
make the sound.
I know. I don't understand my failure.
That's fine.
But hey, here we are.
It's fine. Everyone has them. Everyone has faults.
It's Friday Eve. That's the reason.
Yeah, it's Friday Eve.
Okay.
But yeah, so no, the funny thing is, come to think of it, everyone likes to try and make fun of me. At least my family members do. They like try and make fun of me. Like, oh yeah, you used to take Lauren's Barbies and her My Little Ponies. It's like, yeah, did you know what I used to do with them? My G.I. Joes used to ride the My Little Ponies into battle to rescue the Barbies that were trapped behind enemy lines of the big Lego men, monster men. Because that's who I was. I was a kid. I was being the gallant knights, well, warriors, as it were. So that's what I used to do. So it's like, yeah, you can make fun of me for stealing my sister's Barbies and her My Little Ponies. I used them quite well. They were my warriors. They helped me fight big wars. They got medals of honor for their gallantry in military.
So much detail.
So much detail. It's great.
It's what happens when you you, Angel, marry someone who is Liz Dexic with ADD, ADHD, and all the rest of it, because I've got a vivid imagination. And don't you just love the vividness? Anyway, someone is asking to not be sleeping in the same bed with me.
Ooh,
It's not me. It's not me. I'm out.
Hey, that couch is quite comfy. I'll sleep on it all night.
Anyway,
We're screwing around. We're actually screwing around. Yeah. So, what would you prefer to be called on this video at the
Carly, Carl's, LittleTwaddler, whatever floats your boat.
moment? We normally just call you Carly.
Yeah, Carly is fine.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What you do. Why you. What is Carly and the geekness of her?
So, Carly and the Geeky started nearly 25 years ago. I was born geek. I started reading by myself before I turned 6. I think it was shortly after I turned 5. I've always been obsessed with stories, but more specifically with Harry Potter. Anytime you think Carly and Geek, it's Harry Potter that comes first and foremost. I've got all my Funko Pops up on my shelf here. But I'm currentty the community manager, writer, and project manager for Mettlestate. It's a gaming tournament organizer here in South Africa. I'm not just married to Harry Potter. I'm also very much obsessed with Star Wars, Jurassic Park. Give me geek, and I'm happy.
I thought Harry was married to Ginny, though.
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
I'm a dick.
Touche.
I told you, I'm a dick for a reason. People should know these things. Anyway, so little fun little fact. As a Harry Potter fan, you know that it was filmed here in Scotland, right?
Why do you think I'm pushing to come visit you? I
No,
miss
no.
you,
It's-
but
it's-
also
you do know if you come at the right time, we can actually get you on the Jacobite train, right? Which is the
I
Harry Potter
know.
train.
I know.
And you do know that we can take you to all the places that they filmed, because there's one in
And
Glasgow.
where J.K. Rowling wrote The Elephant's Tea Room. I stand to be corrected, but I think that's in Edinburgh.
Possibly.
It's where she wrote a lot of her scripts.
You see,
her
I'm a Lord of
manuscripts.
the Rings person, so I don't really know all
See,
of what's going
Even me. Like I said, give me geek,
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
good. Oh,
Look-
Lord of the Rings is great.
It is. I in my opinion, the movies, best film trilogy ever. Lord of the Rings was the best film trilogy ever. No film trilogy will ever beat the Lord of the Rings. However, then came The Hobbit, and it kind of just like it wasn't as
So
good.
if you haven't read The Hobbit, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Because
if
they
you've read
are
The
good
Hobbit, though.
movies.
That's me.
Yeah.
I didn't read
'Cause-
it.
So I watched the Hobbit movies before I read The Hobbit. But the thing is, when I did my children's literature module in honors in English, we did The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
It's such a
um,
cool book, though.
But it's a children's book.
Yeah.
It's children's literature, and then you get those movies and it doesn't correlate, and then you realize
Not
so
at
many of
all.
those characters and the romances just
It
don't
shouldn't
match.
be there. Shouldn't be
Um,
there at all.
Yeah. I look, they're great movies, well directed, well written, oh, sorry, cat. Speaking of hobbits, this is Pippin. Oh no, she doesn't want to stay. No, come.
That's Pippin.
No, she doesn't want to
No,
stay.
no, no.
This is Pippin.
No,
That's
is
Girl
Pippin.
Pippin.
No, that's Pippin.
You can't really see him, but he's there.
He's there behind my mic.
We both have a Pippin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm a
And
huge
anyway,
Lord of the Rings
she's
fan. hence
run
the
off
reason.
now.
Camera shy.
Sure. Please. But I mean, what's interesting with Lord of the Rings coming after The Hobbit is, so Tolkien wrote The Hobbit, and the publishers loved it. It did so well in sales, it took off, it changed the children's literature world. But then, his publishers came back to him and said, listen, give us more, we want more of the story. So he said, cool, give me time. He took his time, and then Tolkien came back with The Lord of the Rings, with Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
And they read it, and they were like, this isn't a
is more
children's
adult,
story.
eh?
And
This
he
is
said,
more adult,
I
eh?
know. He said, I know, and that's what you've got. And look at the success it's got. It's made.
Exactly. The other thing is, okay, when I was younger, the first real book I ever read wasn't actually even a Lord of the Rings book. It was inspired by, it was a fantasy book, but obviously most fantasy books now are inspired from Tolkien's writings. And not magic, but The Magician. Raymond E. Feist's The Magician was the very first book, proper novel I read. And I think I read that in, God, it was primary school. I can't remember when. Very difficult book to read, but I managed to actually get through it. And I loved it. I thought it was one of the best books I ever read. And then after that, I read Lord of the Rings, and I was like, this book is better than Magician. So I carried on reading that. And it just...
But you've also got that other Tolkien book that he wrote as
The
well.
Hobbit?
No.
Silmarillion.
Yes.
That's the one book that I'm really, really struggling to read. Is that one? It's
hard.
It's it's not difficult to read. The thing is, it's difficult to follow.
Yeah.
That's the
Listen,
problem.
I have a postgrad in English, and it's difficult to follow for me.
Mm.
There's so much going on, but there's also intense detail. It's very much also how George R.R. Martin writes. There's so much immense detail that you've got to be willing to lose yourself. But not only that, you've got to be willing to sacrifice such a chunk of your time and your mind for that book, for the work. Because he takes like 10 pages to describe the first few minutes of a battle scene.
I know.
Because
that's
he's
insane.
that vivid.
Yeah.
And it takes a very dedicated reader and a dedicated fan, but it's so
does.
rewarding.
It does, yeah. The thing is, it's the same. It's exactly the same as not exactly the same. It's similar to what Terry Goodkind writes, or to how Terry Goodkind writes. Now, I love Terry Goodkind's books as well. I think that the Sword of Truth series is by far one of the best series ever written, and he did a freaking sterling job writing it. And when you read that, he tends to do is, if you've read the Wizard's First Rule, you'll eventually land up at, like, say, I don't know, the Temple of the Winds, for example, and you'll be reading that book, which is 4 books on, and he'll bring back something that is from the first book to try and, remind you of what happened. But what he really is very clever about is how he actually intertwines each book with the other. Things that most people don't recognize. If you pay attention to it, you'll see it. Like the fact that Kaelin and Richard are going to have a son, and he's going to be born. He's going to be born a confessor. Now, not many people pay attention to that. They're like, oh yeah, but that's just like part of it. There's not much else going on. The Omen Machine talks about that, because that's where the confessor comes. That's where their son comes in. Because they said that he'll destroy the world, but you don't really know what they mean, because prophecies. I don't know if you know Terry Goodkind's writing, but in his books, prophecies don't actually mean when they're spoken or when they're read, they're not exactly the same. They don't mean what they're saying. So when they say he's going to destroy the world, he may not destroy the world. He may just destroy the world as they know it. So he may change something so drastically that it's no longer the same. He may actually be a good guy. We don't know. I mean, I haven't read the Omen Machine, so I don't know. But you get the idea. Is that's the kind of writing that I enjoy actually working with, and it falls very much in line with Tolkien's writings, his earlier writings, the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, where it's concise, to the point. You get what he's talking about. His explanations are good, but they're not so in depth that you can't understand what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
It's worrying when that happens. It did take me quite a while to read Game of Thrones, the first book.
Oh, I can't read George R.R. Martin, though. It's very difficult to read his books. I mean, I'm worried that I'm stupid because I can't read them. I'll sit there reading and I'll be like,
He takes very long, and the thing is, he's got such an eye for detail, and he focuses on things that we don't because we live in in a society that is so fast paced, and we want instant gratification and everything.
Yeah,
we're not used to that type of writing and that level of detail, because no one focuses like that anymore, because people don't stop to think anymore. And as infuriating as it can be sometimes, it's still one of the things I love about his writing.
Yeah, the thing is, that's not what actually annoys me the most about his writing. I think it's his style of writing. I think it's a bit
convoluted.
Yes, it's very convoluted. Now, look, for a person who struggles to read as it is, it's not a good idea to write a convoluted book, because it takes longer for me to actually finish it.
Fair.
I'm reading a dissertation by a historian, because as you know, I'm a historian myself. I love studying history. But I'm reading a dissertation on Vikings called The Northman's Fury. And oh my god, he's brilliant. He writes it very well, but Jesus, it takes a fuck long time for me to read one page.
Yeah. Dissertations are hard to read. They are. But please send that to me.
I can't. It's actually a
Vikings.
book. You're going to have to come and get it.
Oh, wait, we can DHL it.
Oh no, that's a lot. Don't send it. It'll take forever to get here.
No, DHL goes really fast.
Yeah.
Wait till I come visit you. There's another reason.
Yeah, okay. We'll buy the book and keep it for you. I've got like my own copy. It's worn. You don't want to have that. But the
only thing I can add to these books is the Warhammer books, but that doesn't really count.
Yes, it does. It does. It so does. I've started reading those as well. I've got through the first.
I forget his name. Aaron something or other.
I've just got through the first Horus Heresy book
with
the Lunar Space Wolves.
Kez is busy reading the Horus Heresy at the moment.
I'm trying to get through it. That has too much detail. And
it's so much detail.
Where the person is standing there and he describes him, and then something happens, and then they go back to the same person and they describe everything again. It's like, okay, but I already read that.
So interestingly, those are all written by different authors.
Yes, that's why it's so confusing.
That's because there's not a consistent style between the books, which is why it's taken me so long to get into the second book. But December's coming, holidays coming, and then I can read.
It took me a long time to finish the first book of the Horus Heresy as well. I think my issue is the way they actually he wrote the book quite well, but he bounces around a lot. So
yeah, that does get distracting.
And you don't know when the change comes. So he'll write the book, he'll write a chapter, and he'll through the chapter he will literally bounce between the what are they called? What was his name? I forget the character's name. See,
As a something or other.
yeah, their names are very difficult to pronounce. So, but it's he bounces between the one lord and the prophet lady, the one that goes blind.
Yes. Yes.
He bounces between the two of them. I don't know when the time changes though, because it doesn't. There's like no real shift, so you know when the time changes. You got to guess.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so it's now. Okay, that makes sense. Then you start. It's sort of like it's like reading The Witcher. You've got to guess when the time changes.
I like books like that because it forces the reader to be more involved, more active, which I enjoy.
Yeah, and look, the one advantage, like I said, the one advantage to reading slowly is I read words more than once. So I will literally read a sentence about 3 or 4 times before I move on to the next sentence, which is why I read so slowly, because it's my brain comprehends things differently because I've got to read everything letter by letter. So when I read words, I don't see them the same as everyone else. You guys can read a word and see, like, for example, I'm just going to point out some things here: welcome, general, venting, share, food, things like that. Those kinds of words, I don't read them like you guys read them, where you can see food and it's just F and you know the rest is going to be OOD because you can see the general of it. Me, I have to look at every single letter to make sure that it's spelled correctly. I'd make a brilliant editor.
Yeah.
The only problem is I am so broken, I read so slowly that happens. Cat's ass!
And there's the other cat.
He had to make himself known. That is Professor Mew.
Hello, Professor Mew. Oh, so cute.
Character
Okay,
from
bye,
Guild
Pippin.
Wars.
Bye, Pippin.
But yeah, so being
He's
the way.
decided he's more important than me, which is
Yes.
fine.
But yeah, so that's one problem with me. And look, I'm not saying that anyone should feel bad for me. I have learned a long time ago how to actually do this, and how to be a good reader and be able to read things. I don't need people's sympathy. I've never needed people's sympathy. All I need is to get a book and read. That's why.
So the interesting thing is teaching English this past year and a half. I work with grade 8s, 11s and 12s, and they're all on such different reading levels. And one of my grade 8s was failing at the beginning of the year. And I said to his mom came in and she said, I don't know what to do because he doesn't want to read. He tries hard, but nothing's like really going in. And I said, it's not that. It's just that his brain works differently, because we're finally in education, we're starting to move away from you don't think neurotypically, therefore you are dumb. We must feel sorry for you. We're starting to move away saying, cool, you think differently, let's adapt it. So when his mom asked, no, what can I do? I said, take him to a bookshop. Don't choose a book for him that you think he'll enjoy. Tell him to choose. So in exclusive books, he just picked up like 5 mangas.
Yeah.
And started reading those. His mark improved by 22% in one term.
Exactly.
Because he started learning how to read his way.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, you know.
Makes me very proud.
Exactly. Because you know what? When
You should be.
I agree. You should be very proud. The way you actually handled that was very well. I mean, I wish my teachers had done that when I was in school. It took me going to private school to actually have any kind of good education when it came to what the teachers knew I should do. Because I mean, I was failing every subject in school. I was literally failing every subject. I got to the private high school and my mark went from like a 20% average, which was what I was getting on all of my marks. So 20% average throughout the year went up to 80%.
Across the board. That's fantastic.
And it was just because of the private school. It was because the teachers actually had time to listen to me, and it wasn't a class of 32 students. It was a class of like 5 or 10 at
That
most.
makes a huge difference.
It does, yeah. And I was diagnosed back when I was in Krugersdorp High School. I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and the only reason why they did that is they had this whole freaking machine that you got to put on your head. It looks like VR goggles. You put it on your head, and the thing tracks your eye movement. And then they say, now read these sentences, and it tracks your eyes as you move. And my eyes do this. They go next page, next line, next line. So I was going backwards and forwards on lines. and that's how they track if you've got dyslexia or not. It's actually it's crazy. They said it's a different form of dyslexia than most. The advantage, I've got advantages from both things. I can read words forwards, so I don't see jumbled words. I just see every single letter when I read a word. But I can also read mirror images, and I can read upside down, and
That's so cool.
Kez always says that it's not fair that I can read upside down, because I'll be looking at someone's ledger as they're busy writing in a notebook behind a counter or something like that. They're busy writing down what I was saying. I said, no, that's what I meant, not that. And they're like, Kez is like, it's so unfair, you can do that. You did. It was back in South Africa, and they were busy writing down something at Nexus. And I said, no, it's actually this, it's not that. And you were like, how did you see that? Or how did you pick that up so quickly? And I was like, dyslexic.
Oh, well.
But yeah, there is an advantage to it, but the disadvantage is I read very slowly.
Yeah.
Because Kez is like very far from
yeah.
the book. But yeah, anyway, enough talking about me being broken and unrepaired and unrepentant of that unrepair.
You're different.
Differently wired.
You have no idea.
So I've known you for long enough. I have a vague idea. Smidge. Kez knows this much. Kez knows this much.
She knows a lot more.
I'm
She
still
actually
here.
knows me. She knows
No,
me
I'd
very
say
well.
you're about there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you could probably tell. If they had to ask questions about me, you might get quite a few right.
Yeah.
Kez, on the other hand, got all of them right, but I helped her with one because she cheated on hers.
Anyway,
There were questions that you're supposed to ask.
it was those silly quizzes where you choose if you had to choose between
So-
these kinds of seasons, which one
Yes.
would you be, or what outing do you prefer, and those silly kinds of questions where
Yeah.
if you have more than one option that actually could work, then you get the right, people tend to get the wrong answers, like with mine.
Yeah, whereas hubby knows best, and hubby knows very well exactly what is right, because she said, oh no, she likes gaming over board games, but she just bought this. So, no, she likes board games more.
Nice try, Kez.
I busted her on that one. And then there was another one that I got wrong, that I know I should have gotten right, because I know her very well, more than she thinks I know. So from books, okay, we know Harry Potter is your favorite. We know that you love Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, and all that stuff. We know all of that stuff. I'm sure our fans would like to know, how about games? Favorite game? I mean, I know it's hard because there are so many out there. I can tell you mine, but you should know mine. I'm sure our fans would...
There's so many. I'm never gonna forget when you guys were just about to move and I came over and you just showed me the suitcase for games.
Sorry, one of the cats is fighting. Hey, come on, stop now. Sorry, you were saying?
Love that your suitcase of games before you moved to Scotland. I love that.
That was because we were moving and we needed to take our games with us.
Yeah, that they were just so beautifully organized, and they were just games in abundance, and it was heavenly because there were cats and games, and I was so content.
Yeah, it's now like shit tons more, just so you know.
Of
Games.
both.
No, cats still 9.
Oh.
Hasn't changed. It's very hard to get animals here. You got to be very careful. You know, you got to be. They won't let us take any more because we've got 9. So they're like, no, you got more than
fair.
enough now.
Yeah, fair. So my favorite games. I'm not good at RPG. I mean, first-person shooters.
Oh, don't worry,
I'm
neither am I.
not good. Oof, no. It's funny actually.
Oh, your mic is doing
Yeah. I'm not good at first-person shooters. I don't like battle royales.
Oh, neither do I.
If I've got to have a weapon, give it to me. Don't make me find it or build it. I like
Don't make
Overwatch.
me do it every single freaking time either.
I know. I'll do it the first few times. I'll custom build it when I'm not playing. I don't want to have to drop and find a gun or die.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, I love Overwatch. Love Overwatch because I have a gun. I main Diva and Moira, depending on what the team needs. I haven't played in a while, but I love it so much. But my absolute best games are RPGs and strategy games. So The Witcher 3 is hands down the best game I've ever played.
Well, that is mine too. Actually, I've got Witcher shit everywhere.
Yeah.
You can ask.
Yeah.
You can ask her. She actually gets me stuff for my birthday, which is like Witcher stuff. I got a Witcher statue from her. So she
I
even
love
gave me.
that.
Well, actually, I was clever because for his birthday, I got him a Witcher thing. I got him a Lord of the Rings thing. I got him a Skyrim thing. I got him a Deadpool thing.
Nice.
And there's
The biggest thing you got me, Star Trek.
oh, the Star Trek thing.
You're golden for life.
Yeah, she knows me that well. She got me every single thing that I enjoy. I mean, I see where you're coming from. The Witcher, by far the best game I've ever played. I've got number 3, number 2, number 1. I've got a statue of Geralt in the Grandmaster armor. I've got a head with the School of the Wolf. I've got a medallion with
3D
the School of the
printed
Wolf.
head and a
3D printed one.
proper
one over here.
necklace one as well.
Yeah.
Medallion.
I want to get a bestiary at some point, but I don't know where to find them. The bestiaries are impossible to find.
Yeah.
They actually have to be handmade, so they're very difficult to find. So I'm gonna have to hunt one down. But yeah, I'm a big Witcher fan. I even want to get the board game.
Speaking of, so general RPGs I love. I like platformers as well. Like I loved Ori, both Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Those games,
Struggled with them.
they're hard. You swear a lot. You want
I'm
to
not playing
break
it then.
things.
I'm not playing it then.
I am small, so I didn't break my controller, but I think if I weren't small, I would have. But I loved them. The story, the art, the music, everything just hit here. I loved them.
It is very pretty.
It is. Oh, it's beautiful. But so, yeah, I love those kinds of games. But on the topic of RPGs, I also like tabletop RPGs. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, huge nerd for Dungeons and Dragons. Give
I
me a
have been.
D&D session any day.
yeah. Have been since I was a kid. I was actually called a Satanist for a long time because I played RPG. I played
There are
AD&D.
worse things to be called.
You know what? I didn't really care. I didn't. I honestly didn't, because you know what? That's your problem, not mine. You know.
Exactly. Listen, if all the D&D fans are going to hell, we're going to have a hell of a party.
Exactly, and that's the truth. You know, it's just I've always had this belief that, you know what, you can have your religion, I'll have mine. Just like,
Yes.
leave me alone. But if you're gonna insult me, don't think that I'm gonna be angry with you and come after
Affected.
you and cry about it. Because all I'm gonna do is go, okay. I mean, I do what your good book says and turn the other cheek.
So what character do you like to play when you do your D&D sessions?
That's
So
very
in
cool.
the current campaign we're doing, I am a tiefling.
But of course,
I am a half devil, naturally. I'm a tiefling sorcerer whose name is Malimor, which is a combination of Mali and Amor, which is bad, and love. Because I came up with such a fun backstory.
Jeez, like-
And her ancestor is a blue dragon, so an evil dragon, which is fun. And her surname is Kairuli, which means of the blue. So it's Malimor of the blue.
makes sense.
Yeah. And so there's a crystal gem embedded on her forehead. And so I had so much fun creating this character on Hero Forge. It was so great. I've spent so much time on that.
Yeah, that you and Kez would be like in heaven, because Kez is also, she loves her sorcerers, and they've got to be weird, so they've got to be like molded from something else. They can't be human or she likes elves,
Yeah, I
but
don't
she,
like playing normal characters.
yeah,
Oh, that's dull.
exactly. So she likes to play an elf. She's actually, funny enough, she's a dark elf in Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice.
I'm a Nord, because I like the big Celtic Nord dudes, because it's just me, you know. I mean, I am technically
Fair.
Celtic, so I'm not big, but you know, I'm big. You know, got a big tummy.
You are big though.
No, I'm 5'9". I'm
You're
small.
tall. That's bigger than me. It counts.
I'm like very
And 5'9"
average.
is like. Oh no, wait. They're 12 inches in a foot.
I'm very average. I am so very much the average height.
Not to me, so it's fine. You're tall
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. But still, the two of you would get along well because when it comes to character creation, at least you two would be like the two characters that always hang out together. I'd be like the random wizard that's like going bloop bloop. Okay, so you die, you die, you die.
Well, I'm
You die.
good or whatever it is. Well, I'm good, but not good.
Oh, I'm very chaotic.
I'm chaotic neutral.
Yeah, you guys pick the easy ones. I go full freaking evil. I go chaotic evil. I do not live happy unless I'm actually killing something, and killing something that's pretty. It's got to be pretty and it's got to die. So flowers die. Unicorns die.
It's a very dark side of you.
Comes out every now and then.
Yes,
Ah.
it does. It's the way I play.
We play
Cool,
like
man.
7 Days to Die or Elder Scrolls, and if there's a bunny or a squirrel, he goes and kills it.
Listen, I do that in The Witcher just to see. I'm curious. I would never do it in real life, but in games, I
can't
like to
even.
test those boundaries.
I like to make sure that I've got the knowledge. I haven't ever done it, but knowing that if one day I had to do it, knowing that I can, it's fine with me. I'd never
So
want to
I-
deliberately kill, for example,
Yeah.
a deer or anything. But if it's for my own survival, I will do it.
See, the thing is, video games haven't helped me with that because I know how to use Igni or Axie to kill animals, but
You can't do
nothing
that in real
happens when I
life.
try to do it in real life. It just,
And we'll just look at you and go, okay, bye.
Yeah.
got it, bud. Go find some plants.
Yeah, no,
you are now
unfortunately-
vegetarian.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been raised to actually learn to survive as well. I was a Boy Scout, so I've learned to survive in the wild if I have to and things like that.
So zombie apocalypse, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, sure you can. I'm
Well,
sure I can do it. Get hold of a gun.
Yeah, rather go to him because I like making stories for them. I like trying. I
Watch her in
want
7
everyone to be happy and to find love and just to chill. So I will go and find a zombie and try and make friends. And then if there's another lady zombie, I will try and get them to ride off into the sunset or something like that because that's just who I am.
You're so wholesome.
And then I come in there and I shoot them. I just walk up
Opposites
behind the
attract.
blunderbuss and I'm like, and she's like, "Oh, you killed my friends!" It's like, yeah, they were attacking me.
The one time I brought the zombie home and we were gonna have some nice tea in our parlor, and he just walked in and shot him.
I think I have to take his side on this.
No.
Unless you cut the chin off, like in Walking Dead. Then they can't bite.
Then they can't bite at all now.
They're pets. It's fine.
Yeah, no, these ones are pretty evil though. Shit, eh? The shriekers, not the shriekers. Yeah, the shriekers. They actually call other zombies. So it's like a girl, it's like a black-haired girl in a white dress, and
Yeah.
if she shrieks, all the zombies come. It's terrible.
Sounds terrifying.
It
I'm
is.
gonna
She's
hide
easy to
that.
kill. She's easy to kill, hard to find. That's the problem. So
And
yeah,
and you got to kill her before she shrieks.
because if she shrieks, all the other zombies come as well.
Game
And they don't come
over.
quickly. They spawn, and then you can kill them. But
Okay.
Blood Moon, and you're screwed. Blood Moon, you're absolutely screwed.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's as you were saying, sorry.
Blood Moon just reminds me of vampires.
Oh no, that's one book I will never read. I watched the first movie and I was like, this is terrible. I have
Wait, are we talking about Twilight?
yes.
No, we don't
No.
like Twilight.
So I
Blood
read the
Moon.
books when I was in grade 6. I don't even know if that's
And
a
it felt like
title.
it was written by a teenager.
I don't think Blood Moon is. No, I don't think that's a Twilight thing.
No, I was just thinking
Blood Moon though is actually a game.
Cool. But I wasn't thinking of Twilight. So
Oh no, sorry,
my thing is with Twilight.
Blood Hunt.
Oh,
Blood
yes.
Vampire the
okay.
Masquerade. That's it.
Here we go. Yeah. But so I read Twilight when I was 12, and I loved it.
Yeah, because you were 12.
Because I was 12. The movies are crap. The books aren't too bad, but the movies are horrible.
You loved it because you were 12. I mean, it makes sense.
I wouldn't go back and reread them. But I'm reading the Black Dagger Brotherhood now, and that's so much fun.
Oh, that's got to be quite enjoyable.
What's that about?
so-
I don't think we've heard about that.
I've
The
heard
most
of it.
badass vampires you've ever met. It's not these, I sparkle in the sun, no. And I'm so tragic and tormented. No. They're just I'm not sure if I'm allowed to
Rice,
swear, but
not Stephanie Myers. You
Yes,
can
you're
swear.
allowed to swear.
thank you. I just need to check. They fuck shit up. So each book focuses on a different story, but it's all within the Brotherhood. So the first book is about the vampire king, Wrath, and he has to try help one of the other Brotherhood members' daughter as she goes through the vampire transition. But he falls in love with her, and it's a really beautiful story. But it's not just about the romance. The romance is a nice little cherry on top. But the whole story, so their vampire lore is different to most vampire lore, in that it's not just, we hide in caves and dark places. No, you get civilian vampires who live among human society, and then you get the aristocratic vampires, and then above them you get the Brotherhood, the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So
That
the Black
sounds like
Dagger
Vampire.
Brotherhood.
It sounds like Vampire the Masquerade. It sounds like something that this writer may have
Similar.
actually drawn from, like
It's probably, yeah.
the role playing Vampire the Masquerade, not the video game, but the actual role playing game. It sounds
So
like something that could
in-
yeah.
In this, the Black Dagger Brotherhood exists because these are the most powerful, closest to purebred vampires you can ever get. Wrath is the last purebred vampire. But the rest are very close to it, and they are strong. They're like 7 foot tall, big, really hot, tattoos everywhere, very morally grey. But their whole function is to protect the civilian vampires from the species called the Lessers. So the two ethereal forces are the Omega and the Scribe Virgin. And the Omega was jealous of the Scribe Virgin because she had the ability to create life, which was how vampires were created. So then the Omega decided to take life, to fight the vampires, to kill her children. So he takes humans, takes out their hearts, and does some kind of process to them so they become undead. Not zombies, because they still function, but kind of.
High functioning
so they
sociopaths.
can. Yes. But so
Sorry, I'm going
they
full
lose-
Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
I love it. But so they lose their souls. They give him their souls for immortality, and they can only be killed by being stabbed through the chest, and then they just kind of poof into existence. And you can tell the vampires can tell it's a lesser because they usually lose all their coloring in their hair, in their eyes, and in their faces. They become like super pale everywhere, and they smell like baby powder. But the lessers are now getting stronger and stronger and stronger, trying to bring down the Black Dagger Brotherhood and the civilian vampires. And the whole point is to protect them from the lessers. Fascinating.
I think
Great
we'll
books.
We'll definitely invest in that.
Sounds
I mean-
interesting. I like vampire things. Like
Vampires.
I think that's one of the books that would definitely be for me. I struggle to read and to find books that will actually capture me. But I think from what you've explained, that sounds quite interesting. But it also sounds like they didn't just take from the game, but it sounds like they've taken from various different vampire stories that are out there, like the stabbing in the heart and they go poof. Seems like something you would see from Buffy.
So that's not the vampires that die like that. Yeah, those are the lessers. They literally just like poof into existence because
But
they've
you
got
still
no
stab
soul.
him.
The body just you still stab him.
Yeah.
But it still sounds quite interesting.
It's fascinating. I'll send you the title of the first book because they're like 20. Very, very good. they're easy to read. They're nice, light reads. So if you're feeling like a bit of fluff, but they're good stories, good characters. It's well written. So yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, Kez struggles with the books that I buy because, well, the books that I get because I mean I've now got the King of Ashes, and I haven't read it yet, but I know it's Feist, and I know Feist is can be very difficult to follow if you don't know how to actually read his books. I know Kez probably will struggle to read it. She wants to read it, but she wants to read The Magician too, and I said to her, start with that. You don't want to go onto King of Ashes until you've actually read The Magician, Silverthorn, and Prince of Blood, or Prince of something or other. I can't remember. It was Prince of something, but you got to read those 3 before you move on. I actually want to read the entire series, so I want to buy it because I haven't actually got the entire series. I only had a couple of novels.
How do you feel? I know Ziff's on this, and I'm sorry for interrupting you. But how do you feel about books, like really good books, being turned into TV series and stuff? Where the TV series, some of them are quite good, but like the one that Ziff was talking about earlier with the books.
I'm not gonna watch it.
No, man. Where you were talking about the Confessor and stuff, that turned into a TV series.
Oh, that was terrible.
And that wasn't that great. So what are your thoughts on that?
You need the right director and the right screenwriter.
Yes, agreed.
So, for example, look at how the comic industry is booming because those comics have been turned into movies. Because they've had the right writers for the most part. Yeah. But then you get something like Venom, a character I love, with an incredible cast, a decent director. Andy Serkis was dipping his toe in foreign waters for Venom 2, and it was the first half of the movie. The first half of the movie sucked. I nearly turned it off.
Yeah.
And I don't do that. The second half was so much better. Still, I'm not going to rewatch it. But it's because it wasn't written well.
Yeah.
They had Woody Harrelson, they had Tom Hardy, who can do anything, in my opinion.
Was he actually in Venom 2?
Yeah.
He is.
I didn't know Spider-Man was in Venom 2.
No, that's Tom Holland. That's Tom Holland.
Is Venom.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is Brock.
You see, but you girls know the names of the pretty boys that you like.
No, I don't like Spider-Man. I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
Tom
well,
Hardy's
that's what I mean.
husband.
You know the names of the pretty boys you like Tom Hardy and what's his name?
Tom Holland, Tom Hiddleston.
The Witcher.
Oh, Henry Cavill. He's my other future husband. But only as Geralt, not as Superman.
Kez saw Geralt and she saw him as Geralt and she was like, ooh.
No.
I was. I totally made that face.
No.
She likes.
I like the
Sherlock.
Yes.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's it.
Oh,
Sherlock.
I love him as well.
Dr.
He's
Strange,
unconventionally. He's unconventionally attractive.
Yes.
But so my point with the books, if it's before we get down that rabbit hole, I'm sure the viewers don't want to hear all about my nerd crushes. But
don't think they care.
You need the right screenwriter because if the writer doesn't do it justice, the rest of it will fall.
Yeah.
So that's where Harry Potter normally did well. But the thing is, if you're doing a movie, remember the Harry Potter movies were made in the era where people didn't want to watch a movie for 3 hours. So you couldn't put that level of detail in. And then you compare those early movies to the later movies where they do take more time to put more detail in because people were investing.
Yeah.
So if it is done with the author's involvement, it's done well.
Yeah, exactly.
But as long as the director is also on board, the director and the writer have to be on this with the same vision, and that's usually where the writer, the original author, needs to mediate. And I think Rowling played that well.
Yeah, she did.
Because she was always involved in the process.
Yeah.
And also, then you can take the first Harry Potter books, or hell, even the first Lord of the Rings book, which left out so much detail. Even though it was brilliant, it was a good translation of the book.
The extended movies.
I love them. I only watch the extended editions.
Oh yeah, you can only watch the extended editions. Problem is they're so bloody expensive.
Yeah, but that's why you stream them.
Yeah, no. I don't have a VPN, so
sorry. But so the thing is, you need to then you can compare those early translations from books to movies to
Yeah.
Dune. I don't know if you guys have seen Dune yet.
I read the book, and I watched the first Dune. I didn't mind it that much because I actually
Which
read
one?
the book, the original Dune, the original
Yeah.
Dune movie. I read the book, so I actually had an understanding of what was going on
Yeah.
in the movie. If you don't,
You're
it
screwed.
really fucks you
You're
up.
gonna be like me and you're gonna get
Yeah.
bored and not want to watch it.
Apparently,
So
it's the same with
the-
the new one though as well. Apparently, you should have a bit of knowledge.
I've never read Dune. I went
Really?
in there blind,
Oh,
and
okay,
it was
nice.
phenomenal. But that's
Okay,
because
awesome.
I'm a fan of those. So the original Dune movies and series flopped because they tried to condense the whole book into this
Into a
short
few
space
hours,
of time,
yeah.
which is so dumb. But the new Dune movie that came out, it's paced weirdly. It's very slow, then quite fast, and then a little bit slow again. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm used to movies and stories like that because of my literature background, so I don't mind it. But you've got to be invested in sci-fi in order to enjoy it.
Oh,
to
I'll
be quite
enjoy that,
honest,
Yeah.
you absolutely will. And because you'll enjoy it more because you've read Dune. But
Yeah.
so that whole movie, all 2.5, 3 hours, is the first half of book one.
Oh, that is awesome.
So
oh my
they
god! So they're going
don't-
to actually be bringing out
Yeah.
a whole series of movies now.
Yeah. So they've
I'm
already
glad they
they're
actually did
already in
that, yeah.
pre-production of part 2.
I'm really
So the
glad they
thing
did
is-
that. Yeah.
For the first like 20 minutes, it's pretty straightforward, and then there is a lot of lore dump, but then it goes back to cool, you should know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, the mentats, they can do like calculations in their minds and stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as that scene came on where the guy's eyes rolled back, did calculations, came back in like 2 seconds, I went to go
Still
watch it
found
with my
that weird.
brother-in-law. My sister, I went to go watch it with my brother-in-law, and he sat there and he was clapping like a child on Christmas Day because he's obsessed with Dune.
Yeah.
And he was so worried that this was going to be shit, but he came out happier than I've seen him since his wedding day.
That is so awesome, though. It's good
Yeah.
to see that the movie is actually gonna impress, because
Yeah.
I've heard. I only take reviews from real people. I don't do the whole. I don't know if you know me, but I don't follow media. I don't allow media to actually
No, you don't.
dictate to me. Rotten Tomatoes, you can bugger right off. Any of those kinds of things can bugger off. You know, I watch people on YouTube,
Yeah.
real people who've actually gone there and who think like I do. And if they say I loved it, then I know I'll watch it. Like you now, you said you loved it.
Yeah.
It's a good chance I'm going to watch it now, because
So
it just means that it's good.
yeah, it is. I think the direction was beautiful. The writing was good. There were no awkward. Oof, that's a weird way of phrasing that kind of moments, and that happens a lot in Venom. That's what disappointed me about Venom. Like,
Venom 1 was good though.
it was better than the second one.
But that's why sequels always fail.
The writing, I honestly didn't think that the writing would get worse than the first Venom, and then it did.
The reason why I like Venom.
It was good because there was some funny bits, and
Yeah.
it was good
Yeah.
because of Tom Hardy, because of his
That's it.
acting. The story was not always great, but the characters actually saved that movie.
Well, the reason
then-
why. Sorry.
No, so compare that to the rest of the MCU movies that are translated well.
I can honestly
From
say there are a few
comics.
that I really don't like.
Fair, totally. But they're usually translated well from the comics because of the writers
Yes, it's true.
and the directors.
Yeah, I can't say that there. I can't say the name of some of the movies because I'll literally be shit canned. Not because Kez will do it, because she actually hates the same movies I hate. But I will more than likely get shit canned, and we will, as the geeks, more than likely get shit canned. But there are a few Marvel movies that I cannot handle. I can tell you one that I despise with the most deep hatred, so much that I would, if I could
No,
go back
if you
in time.
do, we will get into trouble. So
No.
you can tell her off
If
video.
I could go back in time and stop this movie being made, I would. That's the Spider-Mans after the last two. You know the new one with
Tom Holland.
I don't know what the hell the dude.
The newest one with the young guy.
The young child dude. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like the movie. I don't like his acting. I think that it's all just terrible. What I want to see, I've had enough of the multiverse Spider-Man that just pisses me off because I've never liked him. I never liked him, and it was before Tom Holland.
That's right.
Okay.
No, I like the one before Tom Holland.
Yeah, I liked
Into the
him.
Spider-Verse or Andrew Garfield?
Andrew Garfield and Into the Spider-Verse. I actually don't mind. I actually like what's his name.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, thank you. I like Miles Morales. I think he's quite a cool character. This is before the movies even came out. I hated Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I thought it was lame.
Okay.
It was boring. It was the worst Marvel comic I'd ever read, and I never liked them after that. But the Tobey Maguires were my first and favorites because of the fact that it was not because of Tobey Maguire, because of the way Spider-Man was written. It was what I remember Spider-Man as when I was a kid.
Anyway,
because Spider-Man was he didn't have machines on his arms to shoot his webs. It was actually coming out of his arms, which is what I remember reading when I was a kid. The very first Spider-Man I ever read, should I say.
What's interesting with that is, I don't like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He's my least favorite Spider-Man.
His acting's not great, but I like the movie. That was what I liked.
He's not a superhero actor.
He's not. He's very much a drama actor. It's true. Yeah. He's very much a drama actor, but the story for me was what actually got me into that Spider-Man. Great. I love the story.
I like the new Spider-Man because I like them because it's the new generation. It's the Spider-Man at the time of Iron Man. Those technologies have to cross. That's what I like. And the thing is, I'm obsessed with this concept of the multiverse, especially after watching Loki and the cutscene of...
Yeah. It's a whole... yeah.
I lost my sound.
You lost your?
I lost my sound.
Your sound?
I can't hear her.
I think Kez has lost her sound. Just hang for a sec. Kez has lost her sound. She's just gonna fix it quickly. It's if she didn't have her sound, your voice is not coming through in the video. So yeah, it's sad, but it's true. Unfortunately, if she loses sound, we don't get your voice because I'm not recording your voice. I'm recording my own voice on my side.
Okay.
Yeah, only one of us has to do the video recording.
It's fine.
Usually Kez. Okay, it's back. So carry on. Wait, before you do. Kez just needs to fix her video.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
She's having a hard time. And I'll tell you when she's ready to. Okay. Put your camera back on so you can see, Angel. Your Discord is screwing around, Angel. My Discord's not doing what yours is doing.
I can't hear her.
She's got push to talk on, so she won't.
Okay.
She only if she wants to be heard will she be heard.
Okay.
Is that fine, Angel? Or am I jittering all over the place? Because when I looked at your screen, Carly was jittering all over the place, but mine was fine. Okay. It's a bit of a process. She has to sit and cut and paste and move things around. So it's the joys of having two screens, though. Yes, I like my screen there and my screen here. Only certain games can I actually record like that though, because when I open up OBS and I open up a game, OBS closes and moves onto the screen, the one I'm looking at now, instead of being on that screen over there. So yeah, it's a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Joys of content creation. At least we don't have the job of editing. Josh, that's all on you, bro.
Josh, I don't think I know you, but good luck.
He's our esteemed editor. Yes, he's he's going to be doing a lot of work on 2 videos here because it's not just yours. It's also there was some trouble with the video from Zappa because we just lost a whole section of Zappa's video because he just left. His video just died.
Oh no! Shame.
He comes back and he's like, "Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there. My internet just stopped."
Shame.
And then we were like all talking because he was talking about AfriHost being the problem because it's AfriHost and he hates AfriHost.
Yeah.
Because they cause him so much hassle, and he goes, "Oh, AfriHost," and he's like, and we were like, "Yeah, no, I think AfriHost heard you."
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, it's quite funny.
Okay, we're fine.
We're good. Nice. Oh, so there's some interesting news, by the way. I have been smoke free for 3 years now.
Congratulations! I remember
3 years,
I remember you
Angel.
saying you were gonna quit.
2019.
Congrats.
2019, Angel.
2 years.
2 years.
To
3 years.
2020 to 21.
Okay, it's 21. Sorry, it's 2 years.
But
2
still,
years.
it's
Still,
good.
2 years is better
Congrats.
than I've been smoke free for that long. I'm really happy to say that I haven't had a
Good.
cigarette since, and I'm happy.
Anyway,
continuing with your Spider-Verse and why you enjoyed the multiverse. You were talking about enjoying the
Where do I
multiverse.
start from?
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Just talk about Loki. Yeah, talk about Loki.
Okay, so from watching Loki with the Timekeepers and Kang the Conqueror, and that basically set up the next generation of Marvel movies. So what I love about this new generation is this exploration of the multiverse, and also that good and bad aren't so clear cut. Because what's interesting is how literature. Sorry, the cat is messing around behind the laptop, so I had to move it.
Fine, we have that as well.
So what I like about the new generation of movies, even compared to the early Avengers movies, the characters, the heroes, have their flaws. We don't like them sometimes because that's what society is. That's what society wants to see on screen. When Superman was perfect, when all these heroes were wonderful and glorious and exactly what we needed, no bad, nothing.
Yeah.
They were perfect. That's what society needed. They needed a hero to look up to because of the turmoil the world was in.
Yeah.
But we've broken through that illusion. We don't need that. We need to see Batman, more of Batman.
We need to be relatable.
see,
They need to be
yes, we need to see that Tony Stark isn't always a good leader, and he hurts people.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the Far From Home one was good, because it shows the repercussions of his actions.
Yeah.
So I understand for long-time comic fans, I understand why Tom Holland's Spider-Man, even from the comics, isn't ideal. But I think it's very much, and I'm so gonna be murdered for using a DC. Yeah, I'm gonna be chastised for using a DC quote for Marvel. But he's not the Spider-Man we deserve. But he's a Spider-Man.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I've actually stopped reading comics, the Marvel and DC comics. I've veered far away from them. I think that their writing has just become so terrible. I can't read any of the comics anymore.
Fair.
So I mean, I tried. Believe me, I tried. Kez has actually got a comic that I've got a Deadpool comic, which is still one of the good ones because it's written by Japanese writers. So I still like the Deadpools. Funny enough, they're still actually quite good. But I try to read the one that Kez got. She can't even read it. She hates it that much. It was a Harley Quinn one. We were busy trying to read it.
Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy be.
Yeah, they're in a relationship.
They're in a relationship, yeah.
I love that
didn't
story.
like that. Yeah, Kez
love
wasn't
that
a huge fan of that, but that's not the reason why I don't like it. I just don't like.
No, obviously.
I don't like the comics. I think the writing is
Yeah.
very poor. It's not what I remember Marvel comics to be. Now, this is coming from someone who actually went through the Age of Apocalypse. Now, the Age of Apocalypse was by far one of the best written X-Men comics ever. Nothing beats the Age of Apocalypse. I thought that it was one of the most well-written comics ever because it actually melded all of the X-Men and it showed the bad and the good. It showed that Cyclops actually could be a bad person. It showed how bad he could be. as well. I don't know if you've if you've read the Age of Apocalypse.
I haven't read that one.
He was a really bad person in Age of Apocalypse.
I'll see if my brother-in-law has it.
Yeah,
because my brother-in-law is huge into comics as well.
Yeah, and funny enough, it wasn't just
he
that; it
got
was
me into
Sinestro
it.
as well, and Sinestro is supposed to be good, but he's bad
I'm so
in Age of
excited.
Apocalypse because Apocalypse turns them.
Yeah.
Because remember, Xavier dies, and when Xavier dies, Apocalypse is allowed to actually come through because Xavier was so powerful that he was stopping Apocalypse from coming over. When Xavier dies is when Apocalypse comes through and changes everything about the world.
Everything.
Thanos tries to take on Apocalypse and can't even beat Apocalypse because Thanos is weaker than Apocalypse. Giving you an idea of how powerful Apocalypse actually was. He was unbelievably powerful. It also shows you the anti-hero-ness of Wolverine and how much he does not give a damn about human life.
Wolverine.
You have
Such
no
a good
idea.
character.
He is. He's one of the best.
I'll get into it. I'll read
Yeah.
that this holiday.
My favorite is Gambit.
One thing.
You don't know Gambit. Not many people do.
No.
Gambit is like the best. He's the coolest of them all. No one will ever change my mind on that one. Anyway, carry on. You were saying.
One comic you might like then is Deceased. So it's DCEASED. The Batman
is it
one.
The Death of Deceased?
I
Is it the Death of DC?
You'd think,
Sorry.
but it might be
I'm
a saving
sorry.
grace.
I'm a dick.
No, but that's the point of it. Because Batman suddenly becomes fucked up.
Yeah.
And it blows your mind. And then there's another one you should read. This is MCU now. I think it's called 1604 by Neil Gaiman. It's an alternative history comic.
I'll
So good.
give
So
it a
it's
shot.
set in 1604 with all of the Marvel characters. So there's Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and they are the X-Men, and it's crazy because obviously these people are seen as witches.
Yeah, they would be, wouldn't they? Well, it's the same. Wolverine
It's
was
really
seen
good.
as a witch. You know,
Yeah.
if you read his origins, Wolverine was a witch.
Yeah.
Back when
But-
he was born, it was like the 15th century or something like that. And
Yeah.
he grew up through the witch trials and all that stuff, and he was seen as a witch. They just couldn't kill him.
But so with this, because it's set in Elizabethan era, it's fascinating. It's a really great take on it. I love alternative history, especially when it's Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman can do no wrong in my eyes.
I've read a few that he has done wrong, but that's neither here nor there. He's actually written some very good comics as well. He has written
yeah.
some very good comics. But I have read some that he's actually gone wrong with. I don't.
Butchered.
You got it from. If you look at who I am and how I read comics, I can see where I don't read. I can read one by one and see which one I actually prefer and which one I don't.
Yeah.
So when I look at, for example, what Neil Gaiman has written, he's written some really good books and he's written some really shit ones. He wrote Lucifer, for example. You know that he wrote Lucifer, right? Okay, so he wrote Lucifer, but when he actually went through the last series, I'm talking about the TV series now.
Ziff is just upset because he doesn't like season 6.
I hate season 6. I think it is the fucking worst. It's the worst season ever. It's pointless. It's dumb. I stopped watching it. Season 5. It should have ended at season 5. It should have ended at season 5. It should have been, oh my me, and that's it. End. Done. No more. It could have even ended at season 4 when he was sitting on the throne in hell. That still would have been better. Because I am a nihilist. I like sometimes reading something where it's actually tragic.
It ends badly.
Exactly. I don't mind reading something that ends badly because you know what? Life's a bitch. So you know that
Loki ends badly.
See, I don't mind.
I don't know if you guys have watched it yet.
No, I'm not sure if I'm going to that. I've stopped watching a lot of MCU stuff, to be honest.
Fair. Yeah, I know a lot of people who have.
I've
with
veered away
Lucifer,
from a lot of things though. I've been gaming. That's pretty much all I do now.
With Lucifer?
With Lucifer.
With Lucifer, were there more seasons because the network demanded them?
Probably, and
that's the problem.
The show was dead. It should never have carried on. I honestly
they don't know
think
where
it should
to
have
end
ever
things.
Yeah, they
It's
try and
like-
milk it to death. They're like EA. Essentially, Hollywood is EA. All of Hollywood is basically
Yeah.
Electronic Arts. Just put them together, and you'll find they're exactly the same. They milk everything
Fucking
to death.
FIFA.
I know. FIFA 22. You know that nothing has changed between 21 and 22 except
Not even
you pay
graphics.
more money. Not even the graphics. The game is exactly the same. It's embarrassing. They're like, optimized for PS5. It looks exactly the same as PS4. Well done. it's heartbreaking, believe me. See, so
And they spend so much money on a game you can play every year.
yeah, I know it's pointless, and people spend money on it though. People spend a lot of money, especially here in the UK. It's actually crazy how many people play FIFA.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually insane. One of our colleagues actually spends a lot of money.
He streams.
Yeah, he
like,
streams it.
Okay.
Not full time, but he streams as much as he can, and he enters the tournaments and
Yeah, and
all
he
of
spends
those
so
kinds
much
of
money.
things.
Yeah, he told me once he spent £2,500 on cards, something like that.
What do you even buy in game in FIFA?
Cards.
Surely the
Card packs. Those little card packs that unlock new characters.
see, I
you
don't
might
know
get
the
a cool
game.
one. It's
I don't
terrible.
know the
It's
game.
absolutely terrible. It's basically loot boxes, and if you know. The
Oh,
controversy
okay,
behind
yeah,
loot
no, I
boxes.
got that now. Yeah, now I understand.
Yeah.
Take it out of sports terms.
Yeah,
I'm good.
loot boxes. It's the same thing. It's the card packs are basically loot boxes, and that's what's so painful about it. It is exactly that, and it's destroying the gaming community. It actually is completely wrecking it. I'm not one of those people.
Balls.
Yeah, that's why I play single player games most of the time, and if I do play, I play an MMO because at least I know the MMOs that I play at least have some dignity. Like, I mean, funny enough, Elder Scrolls has gotten better.
Yeah.
It used to be bad, and now it's like quite good. So I'm having a
I
ball
heard.
playing that. Yeah, Kez actually got me into playing it again. It's her fault.
Have
I
you
take
played
full
the
responsibility.
good? Take it. Claim the win.
Well, I got her into Guild Wars, so it's only fair.
Claim the win. Have you guys been playing the new MMORPG
No.
New World?
Nope. I'm sorry, I'm not playing a game made by Amazon.
It's
I
done
don't
really
trust
well,
them.
actually. It's done really well.
Apparently, the scores have dropped though. I mean, I was looking at it recently.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just check now quickly on Steam. It's the best place to
Well, at
place to
least
find
people
it.
enjoy it. So
Yeah,
that's
look,
the thing.
Again, you do you. If you want to play the game, go for it. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to play it just because other people told me to.
Well, think about it this way. A lot of people don't like Outriders, but you and I are actually having fun with it.
Yeah, we're having fun with it. We're actually having fun with Outriders. Look, it looks like a decent game. I'm tempted
Just not
to
for
get
you.
it. I'm tempted to buy it.
Watch
'Cause
streams first.
Kez was really excited about it, and she
I was.
really wanted to play
I
it.
did really want it, and then I was like,
Yeah.
and now if it comes on sale, then we'll buy it.
Yeah, so we decided
It's
that
a
we'll
lot
probably
of
get it on
grinding.
sale. That's the problem.
That's a good idea. Because it's like, I know, so Justin plays with Barry, and he loves MMORPG. Well, no, he doesn't. He loves RPGs. Not always. What he doesn't like about MMORPGs is the grind. That
Yeah.
you've got to fucking farm for hours to level up.
You see, I don't mind that.
But he's still been enjoying it despite the grind.
Yeah. You see, I
And they
don't
have a
mind
dog in
that.
the game called Barkamedes, which I thought was great. Barkamedes.
You see, I
I'm
don't
very
mind
easy
the
to
grind.
please.
Yeah, you see, I don't really mind the grind. I've never had a problem with grind.
To a point though, so like
Yeah.
when World of Warcraft came out, it was okay.
Yeah.
Go do this. Gather 10 of whatever. Okay, then now go gather 50 of something, or go do something else, and that is a bit too much. But if it's like a constant grind to do other things, then that's fine.
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
we do in Guild Wars. Because in
That's-
Guild Wars we grind, but we grind to, for example, get a new mount, or we grind to get a legendary weapon. Legendary weapons don't do
That's
anything.
what they do.
Yeah, and legendary weapons don't do anything spectacular. They're just really cool, and it just shows that you've been playing for
It's
years.
just pretty.
But then again, anything that we actually are in Guild Wars now shows that we've been playing the game for years.
Yeah. Fair.
So we know the game well enough. But
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of different things that you can actually do. You grind for the gold so that you can buy cool new skins and things like that. You don't actually have to pay money. You can if you want to. You can
Yeah.
actually put your own money in. This is the kind of mechanic that I like, where you can buy, if you want to, you can buy the diamonds to be able to play, or gems to be able to get whatever suit up or whatever you want. Or you can grind and get gold. If you grind and get gold, it'll take longer. But you can still do it. You won't have to spend money on actually getting...
Exactly. There isn't a paywall.
Exactly. There's no paywall. Nothing is stopping you from actually progressing. I think that they did a very good job with Star Trek Online doing that. And they did a shit job with Neverwinter, because Neverwinter is not like that. It's not like that at all. But then again, you get Final Fantasy Online as well. Not a good game. Good game. Good game. No, there's nothing wrong with the game. And now?
Cat chasing bug.
Oh, okay. It's a good game. You know, it looks really fun. It looks really awesome to play. I've played Final Fantasy 15 a little bit. So, you know, I wouldn't mind playing the online thing, but I am not paying a monthly subscription for a game. I'm just not doing it. I'm not... it's like playing World of Warcraft and paying a monthly subscription.
Listen, I'm really tempted, though.
What, World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy?
World of Warcraft.
Nah, you don't want to play it now. Yeah,
Okay.
not with all the
take
shit
your
that
word
Blizzard's
on.
going through. Wait until Blizzard falls in its own arse, and then you
What
might
do you
find
mean?
something
They already
decent.
have.
Well, no,
They've
have to
already
fall
fucked up.
further in their own arse.
Yeah.
They have to go much further down.
Idiots.
But yeah,
Idiots.
I don't think that paying a monthly subscription is something that anyone should actually be forced to do for a game that you pay for every single time they have a new upgrade that comes out. It's like, here's a new upgrade. Pay us full price for this, but carry on paying your subscription. It's
It
like,
should be
No,
like
it's-
Guild Wars, where you pay once off, and then you can have the game forever, and you just pay for the expansion.
yeah, like the new expansions
Like
coming
Sims.
out. Yeah. Not that I like EA's marketing there, but yes,
No,
like Sims.
Like Sims.
Sims actually works. You know, it's the one. It's the one product from EA that actually works. And that's the thing. It actually works in EA, or it actually works in EA's favor, because people like to buy the expansions for
Like
the
the
Sims.
Witcher one.
Like the
I
Witcher.
love the witchy one. I have a family where I've named it is Sabrina's family. So Sabrina's still a toddler at the moment, and it's had so much fun designing the house. It's like a gothic.
Which Sabrina though? I like my Sabrina.
The old Sabrina that everyone grew up with, or the new Sabrina that's
I-
dark?
So remember, the old Sabrina everyone grew up with was a little bit before my time. Little bit.
Yeah.
But except for the Cartoon Network one, which was my time. But so I like the new Sabrina being so dark, because I'm very into this morally grey shit. Like when she revives Harvey's brother and it's a shit show. I love that. I just think it's so badass. And also one thing I really enjoy is that all of the Latin they use is correct. It's grammatically correct. So I like the new Sabrina, but the family is just based on Sabrina and her parent. It's not to do with any of the shows or anything.
Yeah, no, the one that I like is obviously the one that was more funny for me, because that was the one I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not going to lie, when I was a kid, I thought that she was hot. Flying cat. We caught a flying cat there on camera.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, when I was a kid, I thought she was hot. I thought she was really
She's
hot.
still hot, but now she's a kid. She's a teenager, so it's weird.
Yeah, no. it's
Because
just
we're
weird.
grown-ups.
Yeah, it's just weird. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I like the greyness of it, and I really like the power of the witches. Like the aunts are so badass.
Yeah, and I believe Zelda and
Hilda.
Zelda
are,
and Hilda.
are in that as well. The
Yeah.
actors that played in the first one are actually in this as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if are they in the whole series, or is it just?
I think I haven't finished it, so they might die. I don't know. But
Yeah. I haven't watched it because I haven't really been a fan of it. Not because of the darkness and all of that, because come on.
it's not what you grew up with.
Yeah, my kind of darkness is a lot darker than most people think.
Yeah.
I like American Psycho. I root for the psycho.
Love American Psycho.
It's not the darkness. You might actually enjoy it. It's different. It's not.
It's
it
very
doesn't
different.
have the humor behind.
Yeah,
what
that's like
Sabrina
Archie.
used to have.
They ruined
Riverdale.
Archie. I'm sorry, they
Riverdale's
ruined
completely
Archie.
different. So remember, Riverdale isn't supposed to be based on the Archie comics. They take the characters and then make a dramatic plot. It's not supposed to be a comedy.
No, I don't do that. I don't do the whole take characters from another book and make it into no. You know what? Make your own bloody characters. Leave the ones that are there alone.
Fair.
Is it about that time, Angel? Yeah. Okay. It's about that time, which means we all have to go.
Well,
No more
stop
recording. Yeah, no more. You guys don't get to see what happens in the green room because, well, you don't pay for this. I'm kidding, that's not the reason. We don't have a green room for you guys to pay for. If we did, we would probably record after this so you guys can see the green room where we talk shit and things get a little less safe, but you guys can't because, well, we're on YouTube, so we don't want to get banned for no reason. Anyway, guys, so thank you so much for joining us. Carly,
where can
we find you?
Oh, so on Instagram, it's a private account, but that's because I've been teaching. So we keep that private because I teach high school boys. But my Twitter is, my Twitter is Carl's Twaddle. I think it's 97. Just search for LittleTwadler and you'll find me.
Yeah, there you go. That's where you find Carly. And I'm not even going to bother asking kids. What have you got? Anything decent or anything nice to say? Nothing. You know you need some sort of a sign off these days, Angel, because I can't be the only one saying things now.
Oogie boogie boogie.
Anyway, guys, you know where to find us. If you're watching us right here on YouTube, remember, hit that like button if you liked the video. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment and tell us what you liked. If you didn't like it, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, remember, keep it geeky.